I do. Ooh, this sounds serious. I'm on my way.
Oh, hello, Inspector. Come on in.
Good evening, madam, and thank you. Now, the body, where is it?
Right this way. We found him lying dead in the bedroom. Dr. Isosceles was the first to discover the body, followed by Dr. Smedley, Dr. Isosceles' assistant.
Was everything in this room left exactly like it was?
Nothing was touched, Inspector.
Excellent. Just as I suspected. Four-sided.
Disgusting. I think I'm gonna be sick.
I've seen enough. Let us be off to the parlor. Everybody, have a seat. I believe introductions are in order. Before I can tell you who is the murderer, I believe we need to be introduced. Let's start with you, Mr.
Dr. Smedley, personal secretary of Doctor Isosceles.
And this must be the famed Doctor Isosceles, a famed triangle physicist and a baby genius extraordinaire. Nice to meet you. It is a special honor to have you as a guest for my murder investigations. Perhaps you could be of some assistance.
She says she'd be happy to be of assistance to you. Are you a student of the good doctor?
No, but I've been studying work for several years. Your research on scaling triangles has put the field of geometry ahead 50 years.
So how is the triangle business, Dr. Smedley?
Business is booming. A little too well, in fact. Last week we had to stop production for 2 days because our supplier ran out of 60-degree angles.
Why couldn't you just use another angle? Does it have to be exactly 60 degrees?
But of course, all of the angles of a triangle have to add up to exactly 180 degrees, or it's not a triangle.
It's true. Last week we had a batch of equilaterals that added up to 178 degrees. We had to throw the whole batch away.
If the angles are too wide, the triangle won't close. Too narrow, they crash together.
She says she had no idea you were such a triangle aficionado, Inspector.
Yes, I take interest in all shapes. Triangles, quadrilaterals, hexagons.
Hey, Inspector, if you need any hexagons, I can get them real cheap.
Those wouldn't happen to be stolen hexagons, would they?
But, Inspector, I'm just an honest sheep collector. I would never stoop to stealing hexagons. Octagons, well, maybe, but never a hexagon.
Excuse me, Inspector, but could we please hurry this up a little bit? The good Dr. Isosceles and I have an important business meeting in Zurich at 3 o'clock. It's absolutely essential that she be there.
Just an excuse to leave so your boss won't be caught. We know you did it, Dr. Isosceles. Just confess.
She's absolutely right. You know the rules. Innocent until proven guilty. So what's in Zurich, Dr. Smedley? Another merger?
No, something much bigger. An absolute breakthrough. Why, if we are successful in this, it will completely revolutionize triangles forever.
A breakthrough in triangles? Would you invent a triangle with 4 sides?
Why, actually, yes. That was it. A 4-sided triangle. We call it the quadrangle.
But isn't a 4-sided triangle just a square?
Yeah, that's not a triangle.
Are you the one with the PhD in triangular theory? No? Then why don't you just shut your pie hole, woman?
You'll have to excuse her, Dr. Smedley. Miss Hillside doesn't get out much. Her work at the Pentagon keeps her busy most of the time.
I have a picture right here.
Pentagons are pretty neat, but I prefer parallelograms.
Parallelogram? Is that some kind of Pokemon?
Of course not. A parallelogram is what we call any 4-sided polygon in which the two opposite sides will never intersect.
Yes, and I positively hate them.
Now there's no reason to hate such a fascinating type of polygon. Here are some of my 3 favorites. They seem harmless enough, don't they?
Harmless? 10 years ago, a parallelogram killed my husband.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I kept trying to tell him that the opposite lines would never intersect. Thank you. But he just wouldn't listen.
We are all utterly sorry. Well, we must go on to find the murderer. Allow me to introduce myself. I am CD Coward Bottom. I'm a professional shape collector and all-around nice guy.
Nice try, Shifty, but you're gonna have to peddle your goods downtown. You're busted.
What? This is crazy!
Well, let's just see what's in this folder then.
Hey!
Oh my.
A hexagon. A very rare octagon. Oh wow, look at this hexagon.
But those are all my finest shapes.
Ducky octagon.
Everybody, look at
This, a dodecagon. 12 sides. Do you know how rare these are?
this. Wow, are those angles really 150 degrees?
And what? A triangle? I didn't think you stole polygons with less than 6 sides.
Let's just say I got a special deal on this one. Right, Doctor Isosceles?
She says that she doesn't know what you're talking about, stranger, and neither do I.
All I'm saying is that I'm no patsy. If I'm going down, the fat baby's coming with me.
I'm completely outraged. You were nothing but a crook, Mr. Coward Bottom.
Your Mr. Coward Bottom is none other than Shifty the Shapeshifter, professional shape thief.
Why do they call him the shapeshifter?
Because he can change the shape of any object by simply adding or removing its sides. Shifty has been on our most wanted list for 2 years. He's lately been seen hanging around with the local octagon ring known as the Octagoon.
Like octagoons?
Yeah, you know, because there were 8 of us. It's a pun.
Yeah, that's real clever.
Well, we're not called the Octagoons anymore.
What, did you lose a member?
Actually, yes, we did. Old Shorty got arrested for swiping a stop sign to add to his Octagoon collection. Now that he's gone, we don't know what to call ourselves.
How about the heptagoons?
Yeah, heptagoons. Yeah, because there's 7 of us. Yeah, that's clever.
Sorry, Shifty, but they're going to have to call the hexagons now. I'm taking you in. It's time to go.
But Inspector, what about the murder?
Oh yeah, the murder. To solve this, we have to go back to the body.
No, sir.
Dr. Snedley, Shifty, go get the body and bring it in here.
This is outrageous.
Well, now we come down to the moment of truth, where I find out who did it. And I say it was none other than Miss Hillside. Isn't it true that you despised Melik and wanted him dead? We know you did it, Miss Hillside. Admit it. Just admit it.
But I didn't do it. I'm just a little girl.
That leads us to you, Madam Hibachi. It was you who killed poor Medlik because of jealousy. Isn't it true that you despised Medlik and wanted him dead?
Of course that's true. Everyone knew that, but I couldn't have done it. Medlik was killed by a square, and as I said earlier, I absolutely detest all parallelograms. That includes rectangles, trapezoids, and squares.
So we turn to our next suspect, Mr. Coward Bottom, a.k.a. Shifty the Shapeshifter.
Hey, don't look at me. I didn't do it.
That narrows it down to you, Doctor Isosceles. You're the killer. Just confess.
This is outrageous. Dr. Isosceles is a highly respected member of the mathematical community. Besides, Medlik was killed with a square, and Dr. Isosceles deals only in triangles.
Ah, but what is a square? Just a 4-sided triangle. In other words, a quadrangle.
But that's nothing but a theory. These accusations are ludicrous.
Ludicrous, perhaps. But I say that baby's the killer. Who else could mastermind such a sinister plot than a baby genius extraordinaire? Just look at this wound and see for yourself. What?
But Inspector, that's not a square.
It only has 3 sides.
Huh, I must have miscounted the sides. It's a triangle. Then, well, Dr. Isosceles must be the killer.
Okay. She did it. Dr. Isosceles confesses. She is the murderer. You can take her away.
We caught you at last, Dr. Isosceles.
Hey, what happened to Shifty?
Inspector, your shape thief's gone.
Sneaking out the back door. Suckers.
Well, at least they got one bad guy.
Hey, what's going on here?
Medlick, we thought you were dead.
Dead? But I was just sleeping. Like my new tattoo?